Good evening, everybody. It is 5:30, and I would like to welcome you on behalf of the University of KwaZulu-Natal to our latest talk in our What Do Scientists Do? A Look Inside the Ivory Tower public lecture series. For those who are new to our lecture series, my name is Tanya Reinhardt, and I'm the Science Center Coordinator here at the University of KwaZulu-Natal's Science and Technology Education Center. As usual, before we start, just some housekeeping rules. Please make sure that you muted your microphone, and to save, if you want to save bandwidth, please switch off your video as well. As to questions, you can ask Professor Abrichio live at the end of the lecture, or you can post your question in the chat. If you have to leave because of load shedding, don't panic. We are recording the session and we will provide a link to this. And it's now, as always, a great pleasure to introduce our guest speaker for tonight, Professor Fernando Albericio. The title of tonight's talk is Scientists from the Academia to the Society, the Role of the University and Research in Modern Society. Just a little bit of background about Professor Abrichio. So he's a research professor at the University of KwaZulu-Natal in Durban, and a full professor of organic chemistry at the University of Barcelona. And if we can please thank you. He was inaugural rector of the UKZN in Ecuador, the first Latin American university focused on innovation, and founder and general director of the Barcelona Science Park. He has published over 900 papers, filed more than 60 patents, and has co-authored 4 books. He is also editor-in-chief of several scientific journals and acted in the editorial board of several others. His major research interests cover practical all aspects of peptide synthesis: new reactions, building blocks, coupling reagents, solid phase supports, protecting groups and linkers, and combinational chemistry methodologies, as well as the synthesis of peptides and small molecules with therapeutic activities such as cancer, infectious diseases. Furthermore, his group is also involved in developing new systems for drug delivery and strategies for diagnostics as well. He has been involved in the development of multi-component platforms for the preparation of bioconjugates involving peptides, polymers, oligonucleotides, and monoclonal antibodies, among others. Special attention has been paid to the linkers responsible for binding the molecules. And if this does not keep him busy, his group is also working on the introduction of the green concept in solid phase synthesis. He is deeply involved in the creation of the entrepreneurial university in Spain, in Latin America, and presently in South Africa. During his tenure at the PCB, he catalyzed the creation of almost 100 startup companies. He was a founder of the Emprendia Network Santander Bank, which was the first Latin American university network for the incubation of companies with the purpose of creating a Latin American business network upon the R&D results from the university. So you can see he's a very busy man, and we are very grateful that he's going to give up some of his time to share his thoughts on the role of the university in research in modern society. And Fernando, if I can hand over to you, please.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you perfectly.
Can you see the presentation?
Not as yet, Fernando.
Okay, let me. Okay, share screen. Right now?
Yes, please. Okay. And if you could just go to presentation mode as well.
Oh, sure.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Tanya. Thank you very much, Sally, for the organizing and the nice introduction. And thank you very much to the people attended today, but probably most of them will be disappointed. I beg their pardon. And of course, you are very free to leave my talk, and I will ask you to wait for the 2 first slides and then you can leave, of course. But if you can leave right now, feel free. First of all, I will talk about the subtitle. A look inside the Ivory Tower, okay? And I am totally disagree with that. Totally disagree. What is the Ivory Tower? Okay, this is about Wikipedia, but this is a metaphorical place where people are happily cut off from the rest of the world in favor of their own pursuits. From the 19th century, this was associated to intellectual people, was disconnected from the practical concerns of everyday life, and most contemporary, the term of the Ivory Tower refers to the academia or the college and university system in many countries. And totally disagree. I don't feel myself that I in an Ivory Tower. But this is the problem. Means most of the people think that we are in an Ivory Tower and agree. A large part of the academics think themselves that they are in an Ivory Tower. And this is the problem. There is a lack of communication between academics and the rest of the world. Why I am thinking that I am not in an Ivory Tower? I will explain you a little bit my day. I used to spend 9-10 hours every day in the School of Chemistry. Today, right now, I'm in my office, but I don't use my office. I spend these 9-10 hours every day with my students in their writing room, sharing with them table, sharing everything. And also, probably some of you will see me in the parking lot trying to chase people from FedEx or for DHL. They want to deliver me parcels and nobody is able to pick up these parcels, and I have to go myself to pick up the parcels. This is my daily base. 1/3 of my time, I'm doing these kind of things, picking in the parcels, asking people to answer emails. Please, can you answer the emails I sent you a few days ago? This every day. 1/3 of my time, I looking for money, and 1/3 of my time, I trying to help my students to do research and to write papers. Means instead to talk about Ivory Tower, I will prefer to talk about the ship and store metaphor. Means we are not in a big cruise. We are in a small paper ship in the middle of the storm. And we are not in the Indian Ocean. We're in the Pacific Ocean that is much more aggressive. And our characteristic is acceptance. We accept, academics accept, commitment to action. We live the present moment. We cannot say the students came back next week, next month, next year, no? And also, and this is very important, is our creative despair. Means in our desperation, we are very creative. For this, I totally disagree just to think that we are in an Ivory Tower. I agree that some of our colleagues, my colleagues think, but it's totally false. And right now I start my presentation. I think people will be disappointed because I will not talk about chemistry, about experiments, about results. I will talk about what should be the academia, what should be the universities in the next years. This is my idea. First of all, we need more women in science. We are wasting the talent of the women. We need women in science. It's a call, and doing all the young girls, women, to approach to science. We need more women in science. Okay? the science is dominated by male, and we need to listen, at least we need 50-50. And right now, around of the world, regarding the UNESCO numbers, is less than 30% are women. And this, in one moment, in the first degree graduated, there are most academia, most universities, 50%, there are more women than men. And only 25% there are more men than women, and 25% they are parity. But when the change advance, at the end, you can see that 70% of all the institutions, there are more men than women, and only at 2 or 3%, there are more women than men as researchers. And this again, this in the American medical school, and then medical schools is for women, but students are 50-50, but deans, department chairs, and full-time professors, less than 20% are women. And this is a problem. We're wasting the female talent, and we have to do this call to attract more women in science, and more important, to attract and to stay in science. What is technically a university? I know that this slide is provocative. It's a student parking, means parents leave the students in the university for 3-4 years, expecting that after 3 or 4 years, at least the student will be the same as we leave the car in the parking for 3 or 4 hours, hoping that the car will be okay after these 3 or 4 hours, or we are a production of talent. I think that everyone will agree that the university should be production of talent. We have to create talent, okay? And this is the words of a former president of Uruguay. It's a small, undeveloped country, and he says, or he said, we need to investigate much more, and we need to develop a type of knowledge that is honored and is at the service of the humanity, accessible to all peoples. The answers to many questions must be provided by research to benefit society. For this, we need science. We need science to benefit society. And the university, first of all, was the Napoleonic University, was teaching, then was the Humboldtian University, was research, and this was the traditional roles of the university. But if you will see the global competitiveness report of the World Economic Forum, we'll see that our country is in the, I think is the position 71. Means we are in the middle. We are about 140, we're in the middle. And what is our weakness? Compared with Germany, is the higher education and training is our weakness. The labor market efficiency, we are very poor. And again, university has to train people. Technological readiness is our weakness. Business sophistication is our weakness. And also innovation. And all these weaknesses, university have to face these problems, and we have to help South Africa to improve in all these pillars. What are, according to this report, inefficiency bureaucracy, poor work ethic, and inadequate educated workforce. And university have to train people, of course, in ethics and in the workforce. It's our mission, the university. We talk about Napoleonic University, Humboldtian University, but for this new university, we need to be part of the society. And for that, we need to add a third mission to the university. And for that, we have to transform the knowledge that we generated in economical development and social wellness in our setting. Means universities have to play an important role in the development of the countries. We have to create knowledge, patents, license, creation of companies. And very important, we have to establish a closer links between ourselves and the society. And for this, we have to break this ivory tower that doesn't exist, and to be close to the society, to be part of the society. Means universities must stop functioning according to uniform perspectives and should develop strategies based on the singularity of each institution. We have to work in cooperation, we have to complement each other, we have to create synergies, because universities cannot be excellent in all research disciplines, but we should be excellent in a few ones. We have to work in specialization, in concentration. And we have to function with entrepreneurial culture, following some of the rules of the marketplace. And we have to reconstruct the function of policies, bottom-up versus top-down. Means, in other words, the proposals for the bottom must be led by the top. And we have to find a balance between bottom-up and top-down. We have to talk authorities with the researchers, with the students, with the staff. And this is very important. And we have to impact in the decision of the top people. And the economic growth of a country must be based on a balance between the presence and interaction of academic teaching and research institutions, knowledge-based companies, startups, larger research and development and centers, and production. Some of them, they are foreigners, the production centers. In other words, endogenous growth must be complemented by exogenous growth, which must be attracted by the former, not by the cheap labor. And for that, we need critical mass and competitive production. Means the foreigners, the investment, we are not looking for cheap labor. They are looking for innovative brain and highly qualified, and should be the universities which has to provide this innovative brain and highly qualified people. In the past, investment came to some countries looking for cheap labor. Right now, they will come to look for highly qualified brains. And we have to work in the three I's: interdisciplinarity, international, and innovative. And for that, we have to adapt the triple helix model or the quadruple helix model, doesn't matter, where we have universities, industry, and government. We need the government. And as in the triple helix, this model will be better when more strengths are among us. And we have to work in a different industrial academic relationship. Very often, how the scientists look for the company people is like this movie, this Woody Allen movie, take the money and run. Sometimes we like to have the money from the industrial people and don't do anything. How also the industrial people watching the scientists? He are thinking, okay, means they are 100, the value is 100, but maybe if we pay only 80, it will be enough. This is also not right at all. Means we have to go together, and for that we need a kind of referee, as in the sports, and also this referee has to put some money. Does it represent a degradation of the research working with companies? The answer, I advance, is no. Because what is the research? The research is raise questions and find answers. The young people, if there are some young students here, they will think that the difficult is to find the answers. But no, the difficult is to raise questions. If you have good questions, relevant questions, somebody will get the answer. Maybe we will get the answer, but if not, another people will get the answer. The science, the research is built trying to raise new questions. These terms are totally obsolete. Basic and applied research. Basic research sometimes is like an umbrella. Don't touch me. I am doing basic research. I can do whatever, nothing, but it's basic. And this is not right. We have to talk about preliminary research in the value chain. That maybe will be a research, a transformative research, or in other words, we'll talk about relevant research. But we don't have to talk anymore about basic and applied research. At the beginning, or then, more at the end, and this is the so-called applied research. It's not, to work with companies is not a degradation of the research. Nobody is thinking that the efforts of the University of Oxford with AstraZeneca 2.5 years ago to develop the first vaccine against COVID-19 was a degradation of the research of probably one of the most important universities in the world, University of Oxford. For that, for this new relation between university and society, we need to create a new ecosystem. We need researchers, we need incubators, we need mentors, we need money, we need politicians, we need business people, and of course, we need also white-collar people. And this will be this new ecosystem. And from the university, we have to create this new ecosystem. And then we not talk only about the schools, but the university, the new concept of university will be hospitals, research institutes, observatoires, science park, clusters, incubators, germinators, transfer office, promotion office, patent office, mixed university enterprise units, startups, companies with which the university maintains collaborations. These companies collaborating with the university are also part of the university. What is the advantage for the university? The university will have access to other types of questions. We develop new research projects. We can influence in the academic research. We confer greater visibility for researchers. Today, our students realize that one German company, Ice Biotech, has decided that one of its product of the month has developed by our students at the School of Chemistry of the university. The product of the month of one German company has developed here. And our students are happy because they realize today that the work has been nominated the compound of the month. Helps also to implement good practice for the company, generate economic resources for the research and the university. This is very important because research is expensive and the number of grants are going down. Bringing students closer to the real world helps to create jobs for college graduates, helps to magnetize the best students, avoid the brain drain, and create synergies. What the advantage for the companies? Flexibility, helps companies go and stay at the frontiers of the knowledge, access state-of-the-art technology, means the university, usually university has an excellent technology. In our case, we have one of the problems is the lack of technology. Increase of the competitiveness of companies through the add value of knowledge and technology is a way to hunt in talent. Possibility of starting rich projects at acceptable costs. Possibility of carrying out transversal projects, and again, create synergies, multiply, not add. There are several open innovation projects, mostly in the health business. And I am ending my talk. I prefer then to discuss this entrepreneurial university. We have the lemma is to share or not to be. We have to share ideas, we have to share targets, and we have to share financial aid from university and our external world. And the advice for the academics, for the scientists, we have to run fast of our colleagues, South African athletes. We have to be flexible, and we have to be polyglots. This doesn't mean to talk Zulu, Afrikaner, English, Spanish. No. To talk mathematics, chemistry, physics, genomics, proteomics. This is to be polyglots in science. We need students, we need people that they are probably chemists. We are in the School of Chemistry, but they are able to talk with another scientist. This means polyglot. And the final advice is remember, my colleagues, we are not lions, we are cats. No lions, we are cats. Sometimes we thought that we are lions, and we are cats. Means what is the panorama after the COVID-19? The current scientific reality in Europe, in USA, in Japan is amazing. There's a lot of investment in science, in companies, in the academia, in research institutes. But this is going to widen the gap between the rich and the poor. The rich people will be richer, and the poor people will be poorer. And remember, the rich people is rich because invest in research. No, invest in research because they are rich. No, they are rich as a consequence that they are investing in research. Africa should work in a collaborative mode. Africa should develop its own scientific strategies. And South Africa, of course, should be the leader in the continent. And we have to include a strong public-private partnership. The conclusions is universities have to create a world-class research, technological development, and innovation cluster that supports the region in moving towards a value-based knowledge society, applying 4 basic principles. We have to be the lighthouse of the global society and the market, the university. You cannot see here, but is that. Sustainability, we have to find a balance about sustainability in both in the short, medium, and long term, between investment and costs, between the return of the investment and the benefits. We have to be customer-oriented, our students, but also are the entrepreneurs, and we have to work in a globalization. This means we are in a global world, but we need to apply a local flavor. Means our projects should be influenced by the culture, vision, needs, expectation, and way of doing things of our own society. And our own society is KwaZulu-Natal. And we have to address targeting value-based knowledge society benefits. Job creation is part of the university mission. Competitiveness improvement, growth in export capacity of innovation solutions and technologies, improvement of the local innovative brand, capacity to attract investment from other countries, reinforcement of knowledge and innovation regional clusters, talent attraction, development and retention of the talent, better capitalization of the R&D, patent, license, spin-off companies, promotion of the new knowledge-based economy, better visibility in the global market and society, public service innovation, and improvement of the public service quality and efficiency. And having in mind the 3 T's: talent, technology, and tolerance. Thank you very much, and open for discussions today. And if not, in the future, I will be very happy. And thank you, because the people stays in the audience. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Fernando. And I'm sorry that you took offense with the title of the Ivory Tower. So maybe we should change it to Scientific Lighthouse. Would you approve more of that?
Yeah, because we are not in Ivory Tower, not at all. But some of our colleagues think.
No, I totally agree. But this is unfortunately how most of the society actually perceives scientists, that they work in an ivory tower. So
but this is the problem. This is a total divorce between the academic and the society. And the academics have to be open to society. We don't have to wait until the society discovers the academics. We have to be open. We have to approach to the society. This is very important.
Okay, and I'm pretty sure that there are some burning questions. So ladies and gentlemen, if you can just please raise your hands if you have a question for Professor Abrichio. Nadaria Govinda, please.
Good afternoon, Professor. Thank you very much for the very interesting presentation. You've raised a number of important questions. And I think what I take from this talk is that asking questions is more important than finding the solutions. But my concern is, we're all aware of this should. This should happen. This is the way to go, or this should. So my concern is that a lot of talk is about should. But I'm concerned about the pathways, because I see no direction for how we should go. For example, in South Africa, what is the pathway, the current pathway in which we should track all what you refer to as shoulds? Because we know that where we should go, but really we are not implementing some of the policies we have also in South Africa and Africa. So given the current state of the world and Africa and the economy, I'm not sure where we're heading. That is my question. How should we exactly proceed with all the shoulds that you have mentioned? Thank you very much.
This is a good question, but you know, we are not alone in the world. It means Europe states are supporting research. And I think in our university, let's say, I would say that we need more leadership. Could be, maybe people don't agree, but we need more leadership. And we have to talk more with the leaders. Means sometimes I will say that who is running our university is the staff people, and not the leaders. I felt that it's the staff people of the school that is telling me what I have to do. And they're beautiful people, but they tell me what I have to do. If they decide that I cannot receive a gift of a solvent because it's 50 kilos or 100 kilos, I not receive this solvent. And happens this. It's the staff people is running the show, and this is not possible. I don't know if I answered your question, but we need leadership, a strong leadership. For sure, we have the best DC. I don't have any, I was talking with him several times, it's great, and wonderful deans, but probably they have to work more in the design and not in the daily base. Then they are working the daily base to try to fix holes, and this is not the way.
Okay, does it answer your question?
Yes, thank you. I think the professor referred more to, we have become very capitalistic rather than focusing on the science. Even at university, everything is much administrative rather than going into very, very deep, high research science. And I see that's what's happening at Oxford, because I've got one of my son is in Oxford, and I can see the world of difference between students here, even staff, the way we operate and the way we operate and the way the other universities operate, or the top university. So I agree with the professor. I think we need very, very good leadership, but expertise in the discipline areas. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we talk about that. We have to concentrate in several areas. We have to create institutes, interdisciplinary institutes. We try to talk. I am trying to talk with the Professor Chuturgon to create an institute. We have to create an institute in our field, is in the drug discovery, and we have to put together biologists, chemists, nanotechnologists. But we talk, and again means that I am the bottom of the structure. We talk with the top, but the top has to lead these new projects.
Okay, then Rahul Maharaj, and then Michael Savage. Rahul?
Hi, ma'am. And hi, sir. My question is, what does he mean when he says tolerance on the last slide as part of the 3 T's?
I think it's clear. It's accept the other. That's all. They accept the other. This is tolerance, in my opinion. We have to accept that we are not the only one. We have to accept the other people. This is tolerance, in my opinion. Do you agree?
Yes, sir. So even if we are dealing with authority figures who may be corrupt, so do we have to tolerate, or do
No. Let's say I'm not talking about tolerance of corruption. Means it's unthinkable. Unthinkable. Of course, I cannot tolerate corruption. Tolerance is, let's say, for instance, I feel South African, but I was not born in South Africa. And maybe you were born in South Africa, you have to tolerate myself, my accent you don't like, and you have to tolerate. And maybe there are a lot of things, my origin, my religion, or no religion. Tolerance is this. Of course, corruption is outside of the world. Means when I talk about tolerance, it's about origin, religion, sex, blah, 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 politics, but not about corruption. Means I laugh in myself. I never can admit the corruption tolerance.
Okay, I think that was a definite answer. Michael, you want to ask a question?
Yeah, Fernando, thanks for the talk. How does one get government to direct more funding than it currently does to research and development, given that there are millions of unemployed people starving in South Africa?
Tanya, it was difficult for me, the first part of the question. There and employing people, and you think that.
Yeah, so basically what is, so how do you get basically, let's start out here, how does one get government to direct more funding than it currently does to R&D, given that there are millions of unemployed people starving?
Yeah, okay, because we have to train people. Means the idea is not to give a salary to people, it's to give education to people, to give a skills to people. Means if you are, for instance, if you have a person, a student, a PhD student, a postdoctoral fellow, then he has his own business, will be much better for him, for her, for the country. Means, of course, then if they decide to be in a parking lot controlling the cars, means we are not looking for salaries of 4,000 rands per month. We are looking for salaries of 50,000, 60,000, 100,000. This is the problem. Sometimes we think that means also is in the Bible that it means the idea is not to give bread. The idea is to show them how they can fish, to hunt, and to produce the old bread. This is the idea, to give the students the skills to develop themselves. Let's say, I put always an example. I didn't put today, but then I will put San Diego. Everyone knows where is San Diego. San Diego is in the west coast of USA, in the southwest coast. 15 kilometers far away from San Diego is Tijuana. Tijuana is in Mexico. It's 10 kilometers, 15 kilometers, doesn't matter. Tijuana is a very, very poor city. Very, very poor city. It's poorer than the more of the rest of the Mexican cities. San Diego is one of the richest cities in the world. What is the difference between San Diego and Tijuana? Okay? Maybe Tijuana, there are a lot of people helping in the parks, in the parking lots. Parking lots. In San Diego, there are universities, there are companies, startup companies, there are investment. This is the difference. And maybe 100 years ago, San Diego and Tijuana was the same. But in one case, it was an investment, a government investment, that attract the private investment. And in Tijuana, they are happy to sell liquor for the Americans and prostitution. This is the difference. Means we have to build a rich knowledge societies, and these people, these students right now, they are in the first years or starting the master or thinking about the masters. They will realize that. They will realize. Means, and this is important. And also, if we cultivate it, if we create brains, we'll be able to attract foreign investment. Means we have here Toyota, we have here some companies, but if we have companies will come here if they know they are well-trained students, well-trained people. And this will be different. It will change the skyline of KwaZulu-Natal. Means, Michael, I don't have doubt that the right way is to give education to the people. And not only transfer knowledge, they have to help to create knowledge. And it's important that the postgraduate studies, masters, means PhDs. And I in chemistry, I have to share with you some of my sadness. South African students are not interested sometimes to pursue a master's degree, a PhD. They are happy with the grade, and they are happy maybe to work for a distributor. But they have to know that if they get a PhD, they will be, her salary will be 5 times more, 10 times more.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, Michael, you want to have a follow-up question? Okay.
No, I was just saying thank you.
Okay. Rochella, do you want to ask your question yourself, or do you want me to read out the question?
Can you please read it out? Because I'm in the lift now.
Okay. All right, Rochella. So at the University of Manchester, academic admin staff ratio is 60:40 and 28:72 at UKZN. So what do you think is the impact of this on productivity?
Can you repeat the numbers, please?
So Manchester academics admin staff, academic to admin staff is 60:40. So 60% academic, 40% admin. And here at UKZN, it's 28% academic and 72 admin staff.
Okay, yes, I knew these numbers, but I misunderstood you. I'm sorry. Okay. And Manchester University is much more efficient than we are. This is the problem. Means 6:4, 6 professors, 4 staff. And here is the opposite. It's 8 or 7 staff, 3 professors. And they are much more efficient than we are. Means this, okay, I think we have to rethink about that. The problem, I realized then, and this was a little bit with the Michael comment, means in some cases, the university is working like a company to create jobs, but to create low jobs. Low jobs means right now they change in my building. They change the paper towels in the bathrooms. They were okay, but they changed. The problem is not they were not okay. The problem is most of the time they are not paper. But okay, right now, today we have a very nice new dispenser of paper towel. Nice dispenser. We didn't need that. We need another things. But of course, somebody of this 78% of the staff, because of course, this 78% of the staff needs to, they have to show that they are working. They have to show they are working. And then this 78% of the staff decided is the moment to change the dispenser of paper towel. One, the problem is they are never paper there. This is the problem. And no, it's to change. Right now they change everything. It means, okay, it's not so bad, but it's not our priorities. But of course, who decide the priorities? The staff people. This 78%. And this 78%, they have to decide things to show that they need more people. No, not 78, 82, 85. This is unthinkable. I am happy, Rochella, that you are in Manchester and you realize that with 6-4 in Spain. Spain is a poor country, and maybe in Spain 7-3 because it's a poor country. We concentrate. I don't defend Spain. We concentrate the efforts in the academics. Maybe 6-4 is perfect. Okay.
Okay. Thomas has a question.
Yes. Yeah. Hello, Fernando. I have the question. You were talking about a value-based knowledge economy or society.
Yes.
And what are the values? I mean, the question might be, you know, should we in research do everything we can do, or should we go in a certain direction? What are the values that you mean? Thank you.
Okay, let's say, I don't know if, let's say, of course, we need some ethics, but I suppose that we have these rules, means it should be scientific value economy. This is my guess, knowledge-based economy. And I trust scientist people. And of course, maybe we need some ethics and moral committees. but not a lot. Means I don't think it's necessary to do that. Of course, not everything is acceptable. It means similar before of tolerance. I don't tolerate corruption. Of course, I don't tolerate corruption. Not everything is acceptable, but I think that we have to be focused in a knowledge, a scientific-based society, knowledge, scientific-based economy.
Okay. Any other questions? Then I'll have the privilege of asking a question. Fernando, you were talking about restructuring basically science, making clusters and so on. Do you think that in the future universities, some scientific subjects are going to become obsolete or not? So people who are doing, and you said there's no such thing as basic science, but people who are doing basically basic science, do you think that some of these subjects are going to be obsolete, or is it possible to include this for the better of the society?
Let's say my answer is no. I don't think so. It means, and we have some examples. I will give some examples than the importance of one discipline went down in the present time. But no, but we have to restructure the university. Means probably doesn't make any sense to have a school of chemistry and physics. I'm talking about that because I am a member of this school. Maybe we have to go to another kind of schools, and maybe physics. I discussed with Thomas and with some of my colleagues. Maybe we'll be closer to mathematics, and then we have to make the restructure, and of course some of my colleagues in the School of Chemistry need to be close to the people in materials, and some of us we need to be close to the biologists and to pharmacologists. Maybe we have to make a restructure, and maybe the titles. Maybe a title of chemistry is not so. Maybe we have to change. I have to think. Okay, but I don't think that we have to obsolete. For instance, I'm sorry I put some examples in Spain because I know I'm Spanish. Okay, but no, I don't defend the Spanish. But when 5 years ago, 10 years ago, nobody went to study mathematics, and a few people, a little bit more than nobody, study physics. Right now, today, the most demanded is a joint degree, physics and mathematics. It means they have more students than medical school. It means there are more people who want to study this double degree, mathematics and physics, than medical school. This is an example. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, only mathematics was the people want to be high school professors. And nobody wanted, okay, nobody. A few of them wanted to be high school professors. Right now, is the big is this double degree, mathematics and physics. And maybe, and this is around of the world, maybe in our university, we have to start to think these kind of things. One day, and maybe you have to do PhDs, sandwich PhD, to spend sometimes here, sometimes in another place. I raised this one day with a guy from the NRF, and say me, South Africa never will have sandwich PhDs. Why not? Never. For academic people, the word never doesn't exist. He was not tolerant with me because I never. We have to change. We cannot offer the same today than 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. Means even I am here for 10 years right now. People, no, this is like in Natal University, but I don't know what is Natal University. And my students, they don't know what is Natal University. Means we have to change, but we are sick and we want to cure, and we don't have time. We have to take actions. This was the first question was shoot. We have to do.
Okay, thanks. Javen, do you want to ask your question? Yes, Javed? Oh, okay. Javed wants that I read it. How do you think student behavior impacts university change?
What?
How do you think student behavior impacts university change?
Okay, students should be the driving force of the university. To be the driving force of the university. But honestly, I am a little bit disappointed. Means the students in our university are not the driving force. Means they don't complain, for instance. Never they complain. They don't come. They don't attend, but they don't complain. They have to complain. Of course, there are the political issues, but I'm not talking about political issues. I'm talking about academic issues. They don't complain, students here. And I was surprised. In Europe, always we complain. And students are the driving force. Here, I have my doubt. For that, sometimes you have to provoke them. Professors have to provoke students because they have to complain.
Javed, does it answer your question? Okay. If there are no more, it does. Okay. If there are no more questions, there's one hand coming up. Nadarayesh. Govinda, you can do your last question.
Maybe it's a comment. Prof raised two important things about the role of the universities. One is that the universities are should move from traditional-based knowledge to knowledge value economy-based. And I think that's very important, but I think we are very slow at that. But the second also important point he raised is the silo effect of how departments are still working over 200 years ago, the way they work. The physics is still physics. We are not integrating our knowledge. In fact, our departments are not even linked together, as you mentioned, the maths and physics. And I think one should go beyond that. Like, for example, if you take STEM, we don't even have STEM departments in order to solve the current solutions like climatic change. So for me, I am very concerned that the universities, especially in South Africa, are not moving rapidly enough towards interdisciplinary knowledge. And I think that's the way to go. Even if you apply for professorship, they say, no, okay, we're not looking much at interdisciplinary, but we want to know what is your special field in that discipline. So these are barriers towards interdisciplinary work. Thank you very much.
100% agree with you, and I can give a lot of examples, but I think most of you know the examples.
Okay, so I think we are at the end, but before you're going to leave, I've got some thank you and some announcements. So first of all, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Sally Frost again as being the main driving force behind the scenes while I was spending a good time in Germany drinking beer. I shouldn't say this. Also the ladies from the college office and Asok Raj for distributing the message, and Asok Raj for designing these invites and doing all our layout work. Our public lecture series continues, and we definitely have to look into changing the title into maybe Lighthouse. And so don't miss out on our next talk by Professor Tafatswa Mabodi on the 2nd of November. So Professor Mabodi is an honorary research associate professor at the University of KwaZulu-Natal and an honorary professor at the University of Nottingham in Malaysia. And he will talk about our food, our heritage, our health. And with this, I would like you to please unmute yourself and give Fernando a big, big, big round of applause. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks, Fernando, for this really, really
Thank you to you.
Interesting talk.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Professor. And also, thank you very much for participating in the poll. We are at a university, so we always have to, check out if we're doing good or not so good. Thank you very much. And I wish everybody a very pleasant evening. And also happy load shedding for those who are living in Glenwood and in other parts of the country. Okay, and I hope to see everybody back on the 2nd of November. Good night, everybody. Take care.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.